Hi again, this is part 2 of our steak cooking video, so if you missed the first part, the preparation part, please click the link below. So now we're actually going to cook steak, so let's do it. So first thing, I'm going to cut the roast right with you. Before you cut anything, you need to have a really sharp knife, so pay some attention to the knife sharpness. Because if your knife is not sharp, your steak won't be even. It will be like all with all those curves. So once the knife is ready, get the roast. I'm using the roast here. I mentioned it in the first video. I mentioned why I'm using it. So go back to it again. So here's the roast. It's all dripping. So just pay attention to the drippings. So here we have the roast, and they often come with these strings which we need to get rid of because we're not going to roast it or anything. So voila. There we go. And just to the sink for now. So just the thickness, it's like 2 centimeters. I find it like to be ideal thickness, and just far away. So there we go. So here's our steak. Before cooking, it's important to say, so if you're going to prepare if you have like a huge roast, like not this one is not huge basically, but if you have something big, you should take it out from your fridge at least like 40 minutes before your preparations, because you want the steak to have room temperature, so it's not too cold on the inside and takes less time to cook. You can often, like, they never advise you to do that, but like I often use microwave at the very low setting, the very low power, to get the temperature of steak to the room temperature. So I stick it in there and like press the very lowest the lowest setting there, and have it like for 2 seconds, and stop it, and then flip it around, and 2 seconds, flip it around. It helps. So try that if you have no time and your guests are coming. So here's the second part of the roast. I'm going to freeze it or use it for something else. So I'm just put it here. So the steak. Now here we have our steak, and seasoning the steak is salt, flaked salt, nothing else. So put loads of it, like put all of it around, like press it in, flip around, add more. So that's it. Let's just spread it all around. Like press it in there. The sides as well. You want all that goodness in the steak to develop the flavor. So bam, we have it. That's it. Pepper. Many people have pepper as well, seasoned with pepper before cooking. But first, I don't really like pepper. I never like really season the steak with pepper. And there is a rumor, apparently, that the pepper, when you add it before cooking, it actually burns on the skillet because of the high temperatures. So it's maybe better to add it afterwards. So once we are ready, we wash the hands first, because bacteria and all that kind of stuff, right? So we use something like that. So then, once you're ready, the heat goes the highest setting you got there. So place the heat there. Because I'm using round steak here, it's a cheaper cut, so it does require some oil. And the oil I'm using, as mentioned in the first video, is coconut oil. So it's great for preparations. So I add it right now before the pan is hot. So I know exactly when I'm ready to cook steak, when oil starts smoking. Usually I wait for it to start smoking, and then another like 20 seconds or so, just to make sure it's actually ready, the heat. So there we go, I got it there, it starts melting immediately, so now we just have to wait. So now we see the pan has started smoking, so now we have to do it all quickly. So first things first. I don't know if you can hear me now, so I set it on a very low regime. So, timer, use it. For every side, we need around 2 minutes for 2 sides each to prepare a medium rare steak without thickness. So let's do it. So grab the steak and just send it here. There we go. Ooh, all the smoke. Set the timer. We're going to use a fast flipping technique to make the cooking quicker. So just use a pair of tongs to move the steak slightly so it doesn't burn right away. So it's 30 seconds, flip around. And you can see it's browning already. Searing the sides as well. Remember about the sides. Now that it's nearly ready, it's I have it there. Sometimes they add butter just for extra flavor, but be careful with butter. You can see it kind of starts burning sometimes, so you might well decrease the temperature now that we have it caramelized. So decrease temperature by 1/3, and then add some butter, because butter it burns at very high temperature very quickly, so that's why we want low temperature with it. Add a bit of butter. You might also add some curds to it, like thyme, ideal stuff. So, and just like rub against it or throw it right in there afterwards. And good wow. I'm looking at my timer there, so it's already 4 minutes, so just a tiny bit more. And we're ready. So, I know you're gonna freak out now because it's a wooden board and like you're not supposed to use meat on a wooden board and all that kind of stuff. But like, trust me, it works, and that's all we need. Just a bit more side. Okay. There we go. Switch it off. Pan, don't use cold water right away when you place it in the sink. Let it sit there, cool down, just like you let your steak sit there and cool down a little bit for the juices inside to stabilize and to stay there. Because if you cut it too early, the pores are wide open right now and all the juices will run out and you will end up with a really dry and flavorless steak. So wait a bit for a couple of minutes. We got there our timer going, so 2-3 minutes depending on how thick your steak is. Wait for it. So around 3 minutes later we have it there. Steak is ready, so grab a fork and then grab a cool knife. Has to be sharp, and cut the steak 45-degree angle to make it easier to chew. Besides, it looks nicer as well, so really make an effort. Okay, and I just want to show you that, can we see it? That's all we got. That's pretty cool. So let's try a piece. Horrible. No, I'm just kidding. It's awesome. So now I need to finish it up. So use this technique. It's awesome. It works. I hope this video was. I actually need to finish. Delicious. So I hope this video was helpful and you are now successful with cooking at least round steak. So you know that you have to use oil to make it more caramelized. Coconut oil is ideal, so use that. Leave your comment below. Tell me if there are other things you're using to make your steak. Tell me if I missed something out in the comments below. And follow up Steak Eat. We'll be back to you. Thank you so much.